Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a DIY faux fireplace build. My husband and I worked on this over the past 2 weeks and we finally got it to a point where I can at least share with you what we've been working on. It's taking a little bit longer than I originally anticipated, so I'm going to go ahead and share with you this video in 2 parts. This is going to be part 1. Part 2 will be me finishing up the fireplace and sharing the final reveal. But you'll see most of it in today's video, so don't worry. You're going to get a good idea of what we're working on. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so right here in my living room is where we are going to be building this DIY faux fireplace. And I wanted to mention, since our space is a little bit on the small side, I wanted to make sure that I ordered the smallest fireplace that I could get. That way our fireplace wall didn't end up being like the whole space. There is lots of fireplaces online and they're all pretty large, and the smallest one I could find was 36 inches. And it ended up being $250 with a coupon. So that was really not that bad considering how expensive they are. Along with that fireplace, I had to go to Lowe's and we had to grab all of our materials. Is that right? Are you gonna help us walk? Are you gonna help us? Yes. No, I don't want to. I wanted to kind of put it a little bit over here to the left. I said left and this is the right. Alright, so now we're just kind of measuring out, getting an idea of like the size that we're going to be able to build based off of the fireplace insert that I ordered. So like I said, it was 36 inches and I think we ended up going with a 56.5-inch fireplace. So that's how wide it is. And of course, in order to kind of get started, we had to take everything down, remove the baseboards, and then we're going to try to start kind of mapping things out with the wood and just do the best we can. We ended up hitting a few bumps and I will share those along the way. Okay, so this is a little bit more complicated than it seems. I'm just going to be 100% transparent. Our problem with this wall is studs. So what we're going to do is do the 2x4s going this way on studs and then turn these sideways to nail into the ones that are in the studs on this wall, because that's pretty much our only option to make sure it's on studs. I don't know. We're not framers, we're not builders like this, so this is just like a learning curve, and I can't find any plans that really go into depth about this when you can't find studs, so I'll be you guys' guinea pig. Okay, so this actually worked really well, and the reason why we had to do it this way was because where we wanted our fireplace to be center, there was no studs. So we took the boards that are going horizontally, the ones that Dylan's holding right now. We're making sure that those hit studs in multiple places, and then the boards that are going to go on the sides, those do not go into studs, but they are going to screw into the boards that are in the studs. So in return, it's going to make it really sturdy and should hold up forever. With that being said, I did want to say that we are not professionals, and just as a quick disclaimer, you should always do your research whenever you're working on projects. You know, a lot of times DIY projects are just done by people who don't know what they're doing, like us, so do it at your own risk. So since we were kind of like winging it with this project, we weren't really following a plan, this part was kind of tricky. You had to figure out how high up you wanted your fireplace insert, and you don't want it to be too low because you don't want it to sit on the ground, but you also don't want it to be too high because you have to have a spot to put the mantle and then the TV. So I was like so scared to mess this part up, because once you build the frame and you put all of the brick or the shiplap on the top, it's really hard to go back in and like adjust this. So this has to be right. So at one point I was like, let me just stand back and kind of try to get a visual. And that's the clip that I left in here because I wanted you guys to see like my thought process. Yeah, I think I like it. You want to stand back and look and tell me what you think? You don't even allow it. And Well, I'm just trying to picture, like, if I put a mantle, you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be,
Yeah, I don't have those.
like, how high do you put a mantle? I'm trying, okay.
What are we doing on the top of this? Just putting one board across?
Yeah.
Like that one?
Yep. Making me nervous. This is supposed to attach to something here. So this is supposed to come off. And you're supposed to screw this into something. Oh, wait, you take this frame off. And this will screw into that. And then this.
Oh, this one inside too, Maya.
I'm starting to kind of think it might be a little
Where's inside it?
too high. Because then if I put a mantle here, and the TV will be like way up here. I'm trying to picture. This is about the size of my mantle would be.
Oh,
Well, not this wide, but it's like a good reference point. Can you hold that real quick? Okay, so as you can see, I was using like this foam board. I was just trying to use whatever I could to get a visual of what I wanted. And I'm a very visual person, so I need to kind of like see it in order for me to make sure that I'm gonna like it. So I was using the foam. I had Dylan hold up the little fireplace insert, and sometimes you have to do that. And at one point, he even made a TV, you guys, out of a cardboard box, and I have to show it to you because it's hilarious. So I had to go run a few errands, and I went to the mall, and I was trying on a pair of shorts that I ordered. And when I got this picture, I died laughing. I thought this was so funny. He's like, I know you're a visual person, so I wanted you to see like what I had going on, so he knew where to like put the bracing that where the TV mount was gonna go. But I just thought it was so funny. Yes, baby. And as far as the fireplace insert goes, I will have this one linked below for you if you are interested. I have not owned it long enough to really give you an honest review on how long it's going to hold up. I have no clue. I do hope it holds up though, because I built my whole fireplace around this thing, so I hope it lasts. But if you are interested and this is the price point that you are looking for, I will have it linked, but just know that I haven't used it long enough to give you my honest review just yet. But what I can tell you is that it's not as bright as I originally thought it was going to be, like based off of the pictures that I saw. It does come with a remote, which I think is great. It has a timer. It does put off a little bit of heat. I would like compare it to one of those like small space heaters is basically what it does. It's nothing like super extravagant. But I love that it has all the different color options, the timer, and it's touchscreen, or you can use the remote. And it also has like a button, so you can just switch it on and off. So thought that was pretty neat. And at the end of the video, I will show you a little bit more up close on how the flame looks. Moving on to the brick paneling. So at the beginning of this project, I originally had the idea to do half brick and half shiplap. So that's what we originally purchased. So we only bought 2 sheets of this brick, but halfway through I decided, you know what? I want to do the whole thing brick instead. So we had no room for error. Like we literally could not mess up, or we would have to go buy another $43 sheet of this brick, and that was not going to happen. So I was like, we can't mess up. But luckily we cut everything right, and it ended up turning out perfect. Good deal?
I mean, it's a little short up there, but
It's okay. It'll fill with all that wood, or
it's
the
a little long down there.
flip it the other way and try it, because you just spun it around. So there was a little side that needed to be cut off, so we went outside and used our newest member of the family, the Craftsman Jigsaw. I'm so excited to have this. I've wanted to buy one of these for a while, and I couldn't justify buying one if I didn't need it. So finally we needed it for this project, and I'm so happy to have it. We have been slowly but surely adding to our collection of tools, and we personally love Craftsman just because we can use the same batteries for each individual tool, so it worked out really great. This princess, you're gonna fall, baby. I mean, that's just so tiny. I feel kind of bad. She's just like, I got this, Mom, don't worry, I'm good. Hi. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now we need to carry this out like this, okay? And this out like this. So I know that's the bottom, that's the top, because I want to make sure that we cut, you know what I'm saying? So it lines up. So this is the top. Here, no, right. Okay, so here's what we got going on. These two right here on the side are going to be on the right side. These over here are going to be on the left side. I want to cut the brick so everything looks seamless, like it's actual brick and not like pieced together. And that's why we did this here. You can see we cut out all the grout line. So now we're just going to figure out where we're going to cut it.
That right there, you're going to cover up no better than you could just a line straight down the middle with two straight boards.
Promise you, it's going to look better. Promise you. Okay. Make a bet? What you want to bet on?
I would say 5 spot.
What do you want to bet on?
5 spot.
No, come on. Seriously, what do you want to bet on? I bet you $100.
$100, I'm talking about like...
That's stupid because my money's here. I'll bet you $100, baby. Okay, what a work in progress. It's amazing that this has taken us this long. It's probably one of the easiest projects to do, but it's taken us a little bit longer. Then again, my husband has to work, so, you know, but it's coming together. He's got everything all braced and looks great. I'm super happy with the way it's coming together. We're gonna do another board like this on the front as well. I'll explain why whenever I start working on it, it'll all make sense. So far, so good. Can you imagine? It'd be the worst experience ever. I've never touched a tool in my life. Remember, the side that I cut is the top. Can you flip it over? I was like, no. What do we do? Oh.
It's a beautiful thing, darling.
It's not winding up.
You can't do that.
Oh, what the heck just happened?
Do that. Look at that.
What are you?
Why does it look so beautiful?
Oh, we're gonna upside down. You had it wrong. You had it the other way. Please tell me you did not. Where's the mark that I made?
No, we're good. Something's...
Oh, right there.
Try this.
What's that?
No, try this. Let me see.
The other way? That's how you had it. Ow. That would be it. Yes. That's it. We did it.
We did it.
Okay, so it works. Okay, so we need to remember that. Top. Where's the pen? We'll just write top. Top front. Top back. Top. That's good. At this point, we are just making sure everything is going to line up perfectly. So we're not nailing anything up just yet. We're just gonna kind of check it out, make sure that the brick is gonna line up. And this part was like super tricky because you wanna make sure that you have the grout line gaps in between where we cut out the grout line, because I will be adding the joint compound back into that. So, you know, you don't want it to look off. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it ended up working out really well. And by the way, that idea to cut out the grout line came from the DIY wife. Recently, her and her husband did this makeover on their friend's house, and she used this brick as backsplash, which is what I want to do in my kitchen too. And I thought it was genius that she cut out the grout line. That way it was more seamless when you put it up. So shout out to her for giving me that idea. How's yours line up with the grout line? Does the grout line wrap around perfectly?
Yeah.
Mine does too. We did it.
But I mean, you got, what are you gonna do with the gap on the corner?
How big is your gap? Come look at.
The same gap as that wood that we put in there?
Okay. Mine's not gapped.
Well, come and look at this right here.
Okay, yours is gapped too much. Pull that a brick forward. There's gonna be, yeah, like that.
What are you gonna do in the back now?
Yeah, it's gonna be trimmed out. I mean, I'm gonna be mostly.
Back here?
Yeah.
That's gonna be trimmed out? What are you gonna trim it with?
Well, I was gonna do bookcases.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ain't never gonna see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, ain't you doing this video and then
Separate, yeah. So I just want this to all lined up perfectly.
I got you. Oh, yeah.
So that's
Right
good.
up.
Oh yeah. Now we just gotta take all of this down and
Top, that's
get my set down. Top, how did you do it? Top on the front?
yes. And then all we need is these two pieces outside laid down and that
then
piece, making
on top
sure
of it.
that the bottom of everything is the same.
Yeah. So bottom. Okay, so the board that we put on the front is basically just going to help us add the brick to the front. So y'all know where we cut out all the grout lines of the brick so that way it would be seamless. So whenever I add that joint compound back into the brick, I need something behind it, that way the joint compound don't just fall right through. So that's why we put that board on the front and not on the sides. Plus, we had already purchased that board anyway because we originally planned on doing shiplap, or like a faux shiplap at the top, and then plans changed. So it's a good thing plans changed because we ended up needing it anyway. But yeah, it all worked out, and in the very final result, you will see that you can't even tell that there's a board there and not on the sides. I also wanted to point out once again that whenever you're lining up your brick, you got to make sure, if you do decide to cut out the grout line and you decide to use this brick, make sure that you're putting that spacing back in between, or you'll be able to tell where the seam is. And we've used this brick before in our house, and we did not cut it like we did for this one, and you can definitely see the line for sure. So maybe one day I'll kind of compare the two. My husband earlier, he was like, I bet you can't hide it any better. You can literally not tell that it's two pieces put together. It's really important to do this step. I feel like it made a huge difference in the final outcome. All right, so it has been a few days, and this is where we are on the fireplace currently. It looks so good, you guys. I love it so far. I still have to do like all the joint compound to kind of fill all the seams here and make the brick look like the brick that's in here, but I'm so happy with it. I had like a little design change halfway through. I originally had the plan to do half brick and then half shiplap. However, I just felt like it was gonna be too busy. Plus, after talking to a few friends and family, they agreed that they felt the brick would look much better. So Shout out to all my family and friends who help me out making decisions because I'm so indecisive, but it looks really good. I'm so happy with it, and yeah, I'm gonna get started on filling all the seams and making this brick look like the brick that's right here to my right hand side.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds, because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me.
Alright, so before I get started on adding the joint compound to the brick, I did want to wipe it clean first because whenever we were cutting it, a ton of dust gets sprayed everywhere, and it's like a really red toned dust, and it will show up in your joint compound. So make sure that you clean the brick really well first. And originally I was going to use the plaster of Paris and mix it with water and do this myself. However, it turned yellow, so I ended up having to go back to the store and buy a different one, which I'll share in just a little bit. So this stuff is super easy to use. You're just basically going to go scrape it like up and then back down and then side to side to smooth it out. It works really easily, and this gives you that rustic worn out brick look without having to use paint, and I feel like this just makes the brick look really realistic. I did this on another wall in my living room. If you missed that video, it's pretty old, but I'll link it below. We did like a faux fireplace back then as well, but at that time we had our huge couch that would not fit any other way, so that was the only option we had. And we actually covered up like a closet door that's there. You'll see what I'm talking about if you watch that video, and some of you may already know what I'm talking about if you've been watching for a while, which I really appreciate. Thank you all for still being here. But this is the exact same technique I used on that brick as well.
Now I see clear as day, and I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. I can see the
Okay, so the original joint compound that I was using is making this look yellow. That's not gonna work. So this is what I'm gonna use. It is the joint compound, the DAP brand. It's the same stuff that I used on this other wall. And turned out really good. So what I'm gonna use, I also bought some old rags. These were like $5 for like a pack of 12. So I don't have to worry. I can just use this to wipe everything clean. Okay. Let's get her done.
Another season we leave behind, another story that's got me blind, got only you on my mind. I couldn't face what I couldn't find, just need to know peace of mind. Where are you now? Even though I won't believe it, the truth is a lie, we are healing. Even though words are deceiving, you move on. 'Cause every time I try, yeah, every time I dream, there's always this big part of me wanna believe in what I see. If you can make me smile, if only for a while, there's always this big part of me wanna believe in what I see, believe in you and me.
Don't let this video clip fool you. My arms were burning as if I had done like 100 push-ups. I'm telling you right now, this is a workout. So just fair warning, if you, Zoe, stop it. Stop it. She's licking. Don't do that. I'm trying to record voiceovers here. But if you decide to do this, just know that your arms are going to be burning.
I'm all alone down the steady road, just full of thoughts about to explode. Facing the night, even though I won't believe it, the truth is the light we are healing. Even though words are deceiving, you move on.
Okay, so now I just got a wet rag and I'm just going to kind of wipe some of the joint compound off, and that is just to reveal some of the brick. So it is week 2 of the fireplace build. We have a ways to go still, believe it or not. It's taken us forever to get this project done. But to our defense, we're kind of working on it when we can. We've had a really busy a few weeks and weekends. And it's gonna stay like this for the rest of the year. We have a lot planned. So we're just gonna kind of wing the projects and get them done as quickly as we can. But I kind of shared about this a few videos ago, but for my projects, I feel like for the longest time I kind of rushed them. Like I rushed everything just to hurry up and get it done just so I could show you guys, because I'm so excited, and I am so excited to share it with you. But I'm also kind of learning sometimes it takes time trying to enjoy the process a little bit more. And this fireplace is taking us a lot longer, but I think in the end it's going to be totally worth it, at least in my opinion. I love it so far. So anyway, with all that being said, today my job is to build the mantle and hopefully get that in place and show you the final reveal of just the fireplace so far. I do want to do bookcases on either side, at least that's the plan at the moment. But before I jump into that project, I kind of want to live with it like it is now, just for a few weeks, or maybe just a week. I'll make up my mind pretty quick. And there's a few reasons why I'm kind of holding off on building the bookcases, and I'll share that with you guys in just a minute. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get the measurements for the mantle, and I'm making mine the width of the fireplace just because I like the way that that looks best. So I got my measurement, went ahead and wrote that down, and then I'm going to go outside, get all the cuts done, and start nailing everything together. Alright, so once I get all my angles cut, I am just going to pop a nail into each one of these sides just to kind of help hold it in place for now. And then I will be using my clamps that I just got. That's another little tool that I bought for DIYs that I desperately needed, and I'm thankful I found these on clearance. So these were originally like $26, I believe, and I got them for $12, so I thought that was a great deal. And I am using those to hold the other board in place. This works really great if you are doing a project by yourself and you don't have anyone to help you out. So I am so thankful I was able to find these. Once I get everything nailed into place, I am going to take a pair of pliers and rough up the wood a little bit. This is personal preference, but I really like the look of worn out, like rustic wood. So I felt like this piece was just too perfect, so I went in and just added some more texture to it. And once that was done, I sanded down the edges. That way nothing was like super sharp. And I'm going in with the Minwax wood finish penetrating stain in the color dark walnut. Is that what it said? I can't remember. I think it was dark walnut. I think is it special walnut? I can't remember. Hold on. It was the special walnut color. I just had this on hand. I usually have a few cans of stain. I mix them together and I usually make my own color, but this type of wood works really good with this particular color. And I always use the Minwax brand. I've just noticed that it works the best. Now to make the piece that's going to hold the mantle in place, I just used a 1x4 that I had left over, a few pieces of 2x4 that I cut down to 2 inches, and I'm actually going to screw this into the studs on the fireplace, and then this will slide right into the mantle, and then I'll put a screw through the top of the mantle into this board to hold it in place. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. Alright, so once this is done, you'll see I kind of slide it right in there just to make sure it all fits. And then I'm going to go ahead and hold the mantle up in place to make sure this is where I want it to be. And sometimes when I'm by myself, I will just record myself doing this, and then I'll go back and watch the video back to make sure that I like the position, the height, or whatever it is. So that's always a good tip if you are alone and you're not sure how something looks. And then once I got everything in place, I did screw this into the 2x4 framing that my husband built, and I put the mantle up there. I kind of just set it up there just to walk away and kind of make sure it was where I wanted it to be. Once I double checked, I went ahead and added a few screws through the top right into those 2x4s. Alright, so I took those photos down just so you could see like an actual look of the fireplace for right now. We do plan on mounting our TV up here, so that will be up there soon. But I love it. It looks so beautiful, and I'm kind of torn on whether or not I should just go ahead and trim everything out and leave it how it is and maybe get 2 small accent chairs, or I can do the custom built-ins that I planned on doing originally. I was going to do like a cabinet here, and then shelving going up so I could like style with decor. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. I think everyone has like great ideas, and it's always good to like, you know, hear feedback from other people. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Honestly, either way will function perfectly for us. We would have additional storage, or we could have additional seating. I think either way would work fine. We don't really need extra seating. Would it be nice to have? Yes, but if someone ever comes over, honestly, like we'll sit around the kitchen table or like at the kitchen island. So it's not like we're always on the couch all together anyway. So I don't know, I can't make up my mind, but I'm gonna live with it like this for a few days. So this is gonna be the end of part 1. And then part 2, I will be finishing up the living room, kind of restyling a few things, and I cannot wait for that. All right. So that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching so much. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for later on this week. I will have a DIY thrift makeover go up. It's going to be like a little random vlog, but I think you guys will really enjoy it. So stay tuned for that, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye. Really fast, I wanted to mention I will have those 2 videos linked right here, the ones that I did about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago with the fireplace that we built and the other brick wall, if you would like to check those out.